Hi there, hope you're doing good. So here I am with an update to this workflow automation. We have two workflow automations working around simultaneously. So let me go one by one and discuss the updates, and then I'll let you know what are the bottlenecks in that so that we can clarify those and proceed accordingly. All right. So this is the first one where we are updating the stats file in which initially we were doing these from 0x combination through the data and twisting it into the source one. Now, as per your requirement, I have added this control so that you can select the you can just enter the folder reference from which you want to select a file that will get pulled into source 0 at row number 2 data. The header will be in row number 1, and that will get then processed with source X and then pasted into source 1, which you can later run with the update RN and REV to update those two files. So there are some updates in it. So first of all, I have added this control initial adding like, as you know that all of my inputs are yellow cells and the grays are the fixed or formula cells. So as you can see, these are the yellow cell, but in this one you cannot see the folder ID, Google folder ID, Google Drive folder ID as a gray. You can see that though there should be a manual control in it. So what I've done, I have added another control in which you can select the drop down and select which folder you want to control. So for example, if you want to see all the files from the Victoria, you can click on Victoria and here you have the control. Maybe you want to save the file for multiple, like for each stats separately. So you just need to save as different files, or maybe you can use the same file to create multiple stat files. So this will give you easiness and you don't need to update the code in all the files if you are making those multiple copies in here. All right. So what I've done, I have given you the control, and this control is basically from the automation file, which is this one in which we are pulling the data from the API. So in this, you can see we have the folder IDs and the prefix name. So I'm taking the prefix name to be as the reference to the folder IDs. So this exact reference cell rows, which I'm showing currently highlighted, this is getting referenced and pulling in the data in this file on column after on the right side of the H. And this is giving you this control that you can select any of the folder name so that its folder ID will get fetched in automatically. You can see this is getting changed automatically. So this is an easy way to do it. And why I'm showing you this part, API data, that this is the main file. You have to make any changes if you want to change the folder ID or the name relevant to it. You can always use those in here. If you want to use these names instead of these names in the drop down of this file, please do let me know so that I can give you the control. But I think this will be good enough and you will have the idea. Okay, so this is it. So you need to select the folder. It will take you, it will automatically fetch the Google Drive folder ID. Then this, you need to click on this update list. So this is the sequence from select the drop down. It will jump in the Google Drive, click the button, and it's going to update the files. Let me select Victoria and run, though it's not going to work. Why it is not going to work? Because this folder I don't have the access to this folder. This is why it's giving you do not have the access. So I'll click on Alicon and run this system. What this button will do, this will update the file names in it. So for example, if you will be changing the hotel name, you will still see the same file. So you have to click this update and then you will be seeing the updated file names in here. And in the drop down, you will see there are only PMS files because the PMS file are the only one which we are going to fetch into the source 0. So I have added this control that it will only show the PMS file. So you can see this is .xls, without XLS, without XLS, then again XLS. There are both of the files. So the without the XLS file, this is Google Drive file, which is being created automatically from the API system and saving it as the new date. As you can see, these both of these are the same name, like this one, Alicon PMS 42224 422. The name is not along with the air, but these are the exact same file. This one is generated automatically from the Google Sheet API drive, and you can select anyone. I have added both the controls. So if you will select the XLS file, still that will work. If you will select Google Drive file, it will still work. So both of the functionality will automatically picked up. It will find, okay, there is an XLSX file and it will process it in a different code. And if it is not a Google file, if it is not an Excel file, but Google Drive file, it will be processed accordingly as well. So select the folder, fetch the folder ID, select the file through which you want to pull the data, and just run this fetch and update. Let me show you quickly. So though it's automatically going to clear the data, but I'm just to show you that it is getting updated. I'm just showing you quickly. So I have select. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you the demo. So I think I have run this. No. Okay, let me run this one. As you can see, the data got fetched in from source 0. It will combine with source X, and it will present the data in source 1. But you can see there are less columns because there are not columns are not matching in source 0 and source X. There are some name like this is the registration number, reference number. This is the heading on the source 0, whereas on source X, those have different names. As I have pulled the XLS file, it has the old value, old name. So if I'll select the Google Sheet and I'll run this again, you will see different headers. And these might get matched with the source 0, source 1, and you will see more columns in here. Now you can see there are better names and reference names are available. So the problem we are facing here is that on source 0 and source X1, headers are not matching, and I have given the comparison of the 0 and X header match in this. So these are the source X headers, which we were using currently previously, which I updated with this one. This is source 0 headers, which we are getting in from this XLS file or the Google Sheet. And this one will be, I'll discuss this one. So you can see this one is the reservation number with the short format. This one is full format. So these are not matching. We have to have the exact same wording so that we can match the columns, and the sequence doesn't matter. And the format we should follow is this one. But this is which is the source 0, which we just pulled in from the API data. And in the API data, you have changed the sequence of the columns. Whereas if we will combine in this format, in this sequence, we will get the data in source 1 in this format, which might get different than the older format where the name was in the column T. But if we will use the new heading sequence, which is in from the API format, this sheet will get changed. Like the policy might move in here, Booker might move left or right. But the problem here is that source 1 is getting used in any of the other files, many of the other files like calcs1, calcs, and the control sheet as well, in which it is referencing to the column and pulling the data in. So all of these formula will get disturbed. So the quick solution to that is that we need to have the a fixed column sequence, which we were using earlier, because if you want to keep the formula, otherwise you need to change the formatting column headers and in the formulas. So if you are using the API sequence, just let me know which sequence to use. So to clarify, the previous sequence having some reference to other sheets, to keep those reference, you need to use the exact same format, the sequence of the headers. But if you are willing to use the new sequence, just like from the API sheet, then you need to change the formula for those. Again, before doing that, we need to have match in the source 0 and source X1. For that, what I have done, I have changed the source X few columns, which are exactly matching. So let me quickly go through. These are exactly matching with the sequence, these two names, the source X and source 0. This is exactly, the yellows are exactly, the words are also same. Whereas the names are a bit different. Like guest last name, I'm taking it as a, but I don't think so. This is the correct match. Booking date and all these columns are matching. That's fine. Then room type is not. The wording is there, but it is not in the same sequence. Then meal plan is here on source X, whereas in source and source 0, it's on column number 27. Doesn't matter. You can let me know which column to use. Again, which we have already discussed. Again, there is another point that if there is any column which is in this source 0 but not in source X, that will not obviously not get updated. But if there is any column like these three columns, payment, deposit, commission, balance, which are not available in the source 0, which is coming in from the API sheet. So in that case, what we need to do, should we add the columns payment, commission and balance under the on the right side of the columns, which are coming in from the API sheet? So we will add more columns if those are available in the source X. But to match those columns, like considering it that commission is an extra column, we need to make sure that the commission is not another column with a different name in this sequence already. So for that, we need to have matching names, extra columns will get combined, and we need to have a fixed header so that according to that we can manage the source 0 and source X and then paste the data in source 1 so that that can get used in the reference files. And if you are planning to change the headers, you need to change the reference as well. So this is it from this sheet. This one is exactly the same. I am not making any changes in it. So once you are done with the source 0, source X and source 1 sheet, you can just click this, whatever the parameter you are going to change, and then run this one. There is another option that once you will run the fetch and update, it's going to update the link. So which file we are pulling in, you can just simply click in here and click this link, and it will open the file which we just pulled in. So this is the file we pulled in, and you don't need to worry about the headers. It will skip any of the the columns based on this status column. Like if there is any empty, it will consider as a leaving sheet, leaving row. Any row will get left if there is nothing updated in the status column. I hope this is understandable. And yeah, so this part is missing. Add missing column to source 0, source x1, sequence of headers needed for source 1, and names matching header in source 0 plus source x to combine those accordingly. So these are the things we need to discuss. We can always discuss these in another call. Let me know when you are free and then we can discuss. These were your messages. I'll leave those again here. So what we are doing, we are pulling in the data, like you can move it up here. So we are clearing the source sheet, pulling in the data based on these selections, both from Excel file and the Google Sheet. The Excel file was making some problems, so it took me a lot of time to fix that issue. Not an issue, but I need to work around that. The problem was in the XLS format, file format, so I have to improvise something, and now it's working fine. And both of these are automatically decided whether to use the XLS format file using the name of the file. And the combine with the XLS. Okay, yeah, this is done. So these are the sequence. Source 0 will get clear, API data will get fetched in, combined with source X and pasted in source 1. That's it. Now let's move to the other one. All right, so this one. In this one, as per your requirement, I've updated this sheet. So you can see manually generate today's PMS file. So this will run, I have added a new module into the code. So once you'll click on it, it will just find that if there is any yes or no. Doesn't matter which time is it, and you don't need to worry about the time. And this is going to run the system, and it will create the alloc on another sheet. I don't have the access to this drive because this is why I'm not selecting this. Why? Otherwise, this is manual control and you have the control. Let me quickly answer these questions in this video so that you can keep a record of it. So yeah, so you don't need to change the time zone. Yeah, you have already done it from the file and setting, and then press a trigger so that the trigger will get set in your time zone, and not there will not be any lag in between. So whatever time you will select on the right side, those will get triggered. Trigger will get set at exactly those time. Do not change cell in any unless yes, obviously you don't need to make any changes if you don't want. Like orange cells or yellow cells are the only cells where you need to make the changes. In case we change download time, yeah, obviously whenever you are making any changes in this time, you need to reset the trigger so that it will reset new time, whatever the time you have selected now. Field sequence can be changed. Yes, field sequence can be changed on row number 16. I have added this comment. Go to comparison sheet, change the row number 16, which is in here. So you can make the changes as we have already discussed. This column will be taken as the first column, and this one will be 7th. This one will be the 28th column. So this is the sequence. You need to make the changes in the orange cells. Let me make those yellow also. Um, Let me make these gray. You don't need to worry about those because these are getting fetched in automatically. This is a manual, but this is for developers double check. You don't need to worry about that. The actual column sequence is somewhere here. No, that's it. You just need to change this yellow cell. Let me make this a different color so that you are not getting confused with it. Maybe I'll keep it green. So this is for me. Okay, so this is the row number 16 where you need to fix, yeah, just mention the column, which sequence is to be set for that particular column. And once you will set it, it will automatically transfer just change everything. All right. Okay, so yeah, obviously this is a very good point. So you have once you are setting a time, like for example, if currently it's 8 p.m. and you are setting a trigger for 7 p.m. So it means that the trigger will run 24 hours, 25 hours later for the next day, obviously, because the time has passed. So if you want to set a trigger after 1 hour or 2 hours, you obviously need to set that time. Okay, when do we need to use the generate? So this was yeah, I have just updated this. Only when you want to immediately generate the reports. Active hotels. Active hotels means this hotels, and this will not depend on the time. It's working now. Again, how do I change the fields in comparison field? I just mentioned you just need to match, just show which column sequence this name should have. Again, okay, this we have already discussed in the next level, discussed to resolve in the next task. And Alicon stats, yeah, I have already given you the update for the Alicon sheet states, the state file update in which we are linking and pulling in the data. So that is it from my side. Please do let me know when you are available so that we can have a discussion and clarify these points and complete this task as soon as we can. Looking forward for your response. Take care. Bye.